Good morning. Happy New Year and happy new mini catalog and celebration period. Hey, cheers to you. Peace on earth for the new year. Much health and happiness to you. And I am trying out, as some of you know, some new software here. I was really frustrated with my other program that was working for a while and then decided not to. And I couldn't figure out why. I spent hours, literally hours last week trying to figure it out. And then I had a friend come over who's a tech person, and the two of us spent like 3 hours trying to work things out. And nope, didn't work. So I just totally went to something new. So hopefully we're all good here. Don't forget to leave a comment when you join in, and then you will be entered into my raffle for just leaving a comment and saying hello. And I am grabbing something over here. It says I should be able to see comments to the side of my screen here. I'm not really looking at it on Facebook, but hopefully, okay, there we go, Jackie. I see comments. Yay! Oh, this is so exciting. Very exciting. Hi, Patty. Nice to see you both. Okay, Jackie and Patty are both part of my team. Very exciting to see our team members here, as well as people who are just watching and following. So yeah, say hello, say good morning. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, Patty was my winner the week before last. And I had a note here. I've got notes all over the place. Post-it notes stuck to this and that, just scrap paper notes. I really should keep everything in just one place, one book, and then everything will be hunky-dory. Okay, well, I can't find my note with my winner from last time. So if it turns up, I will show that today. Otherwise, I'll just type it in the comments and we'll be in touch with that person. So yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi, darling. Hi, Lynn. Okay, Lynn is, I'm excited. Lynn is the newest member to my team. I want to say our team, not my team. This is not all about me. A team means we're together, right? There's no I in team, they say, right? So, our team and darling Lynn, we call her, just joined yesterday, and she got the special offer for joining. She chose, since she already has a glass mat, she chose to get $30 extra in her starter kit. She was so excited. Okay, so Lynn, I'm having a great day. Yes, you are happy camper today too, except she was having trouble with her phone. So she'll get that settled. Actually, Lynn, my tech guy yesterday said, I'm not going to say any names of the company because I don't want to badmouth anybody, but the company that you were speaking of, that you have your phone through, he said, not a good one. So yeah, return that and go back to what you had before. Okay, I'm not saying any names. But hopefully you'll get that straightened out. I know that could be so frustrating. Okay, so yeah, who has a morning beverage today? I'm trying out some new coffee that my daughter and son-in-law gave me for Christmas. I do like, there's a Zeke's brand in Baltimore, and they have so many different blends. This is a new one. It's called Bali, B-A-L-I, then a dash, and then T-I-M-O-R. So quick glance, it looks like Baltimore, but it is Balinese coffee, some from Bali, and then some Timor coffee, which I'm not sure what that is, but it's a combination, and it's really good. It's got some toasty and chocolatey notes to it. So we tried that for the first time yesterday. So that's what I'm drinking again today. And this cup here reminds me of my friend Barbara. So Barbara, if you're watching, she's not crafter, she doesn't always watch my lives. But Barbara, whenever I use this cup, I think of you, because a year ago, this was her favorite cup. She's all about, being kind to people and sharing peace in her own special way. And so, yep, peace on earth. That's our wish for for the new year, right? Okay, you got your coffee. All right, cheers, everybody. Coffee and a card, but you can have any beverage you want. It's okay. We won't kick you off. Okay, I'm putting it in the back here so I don't spill all my projects. Okay, so new catalogs. Look at this. I've got 2 screens going. Yay! I am so excited. And I could switch them and take one out. And I can even get a little bit fancier here where I have some banners here. So if you're looking to place an order with me this month, please, and it's under $150, please use the host code I just showed you on the screen below. And that way it kind of helps me out a little more, getting me a little extra credit if I combine the smaller orders. If your order is $150 or more, do not use the host code, because then you are going to get host rewards starting at 10%. So not only at $150 will you qualify for 3 $50 celebration offers, but you will also get $15 worth of rewards to spend on anything in the catalog or online exclusives. More than that, it's 10% until you reach higher levels, then can go up to 12 or 16%. Combine orders with your friends, have a workshop. We can do a virtual workshop if you want to do that. If you're living far away from me, that's fine. If you're local, I can go to your house and we can have a workshop. And then you can have even more host rewards. Okay, so the catalogs. All right, what do you, I put in my comments before, come to tell what you like. Okay, if you've been looking at the catalog, either in person or online, what are some of your favorite things? What do you have your eye on? What are you hoping to get? Just tell me. Oh, Krista, good morning. Krista's on my team as well. So is Kathleen. Look at this. So many people. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Tell everybody how fun it is to be a demonstrator. Yeah, you get your discount. You start off with 20%. You can, once you reach a certain level of sales, you go to 25% discount. And that's also commission on whatever orders you get, any customers you get. So it's all good. Jennifer likes Be Mine. All right. Yep, I've been using that one quite a bit. So I'm not using that one today, but I do love that one. It's awfully cute. That was the first one I got from the mini catalog because I did an event with Stampin' Up, and that was the set that they used. So we were able to get that one before we could even pre-order, which was December. So I got that back in November. We got to play with it. We got the whole suite. We had to pay for it, but we got the whole suite. So it's okay. It's good. Oh yeah, Lynn loves the perennial lavender. She could not wait to sign up and get that. And it's really, really pretty. I'm going to use some of that today in a different way. So wait till you see how I'm going to be using that one. Okay. So I have a layout for you today that I'm going to use across different products. So this is something you can do also. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to start a card. Go to a layout you've done before and just copy that with different products. So I'm going to use a little bit of sentiments, some labels, some different DSP, and of course, different color inks and cardstock. So, but it's still going to be the same layout. Now, I saw I found this card. I've done this kind of layout before, but I was inspired by Carol Buckaloo from Inky Bee Stamps, our stampers, and saw her design, I think, on Pinterest. And I said, okay, well, this is one that could really work nicely across the board. So hers started with, I guess I should show that one first. So I'm going to take this suite out of the way, the sunny days, the bright skies, and I will start with something else. We'll come back to this one. Okay, watch this, guys. I'm going to do a quick switch. Ta-da! Wasn't that nice? I didn't have to rock your boat. Okay. Let me take down that so you can see my whole screen. Okay, Krista loves Hills of Tuscany. Yeah, Krista, you made some lovely cards with that the other day. Yeah, if you just share them on the group, maybe you might be able to share them on. I'll do a new post after this live, and maybe you can share them to here as well. That would be wonderful because we like to see different things. I don't have that set yet, so it's very helpful when other people put up ideas with the things that I don't have yet. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm running out of surface space, but here we go. All righty. So here is the Perennial Lavender designer series paper that so many people are loving. Very pretty. And I did use this one last week, right? I love this one with the extra white added in there and the little butterflies. So this is all the colors here. In fact, you the DSP that's in the mini catalog, you will get in my paper share. Some of you have already done my paper share, and it's going to be good until next week. So I think it said until Wednesday. I'm going to be taking orders for that. So you would get a half a sheet of all of the cardstock that's in here. So it's really, and there are 2 of every sheet of paper. So you're getting a quarter pack of 8 different designer series papers in my paper share. Plus, I send the cardstock that coordinates with it all too. So you would get 1 sheet of all of these colors so that you can work with your designer series paper. Not everybody has all the colors. So I understand that. So this way you have a variety of colors to work with. A lot of them have 6 colors. This one happens to have a lot more. But it really is helpful to have those colors, so you can play around with them. You might find a favorite and then decide, okay, well, I want to order a full pack of that one. This way you get to try out the cardstock as well. All right, so this one, I am not going to use the lavender part of it because the gal that I was inspired with this card actually used the plaid, but not with anything flowery. So wait till you see this. You have to kind of think out of the box sometimes. This can go with any, with other products as well. And what she paired it with, and I cased her card, she paired it with, okay, figure this, watercolor melon. Because it came out, it looked so cute. I wanted to case her design, and I'm giving her credit, Carol Buckaloo. This is something you can get for free with celebrations. And let me show you what that will look like. Okay, you might have seen at one point I did stamp some of these. I was showing this. Oh, excuse my messy paper here. Oh my, I should get a clean one, right? All right, here we go. That looks better. It's the metric side, but that's okay. So I stamped these. This is a 2-step stamping process. As you can see, you have your actual melon part and you have the rind, and it fits in nicely. Then you can add your seeds in there too. So the big watermelon here actually coordinates with the modern oval punch. Okay, so, and this was done in, I believe, Granny Apple Green. This was a while ago since I did that. And I can just use that punch to punch out that full watermelon, just like that. And then the other pieces can be fussy cut. But you know what? If you don't like fussy cutting, this one is an easy one to actually do the fussy cutting with because you don't have to be so fussy. So just taking my snips, I cut out that slice there. And if you look carefully, because it has the watercolor technique sort of on there, it isn't such a specific line that you have to be really, really specific with. So you can, be a little curvy, and I purposely didn't try to be too close with this one. See, I just kind of made a little bit of a rough cut around there because that's how the coloring is on there. So it's okay. Look here. See how one side is even thinner than the other? Maybe my camera's not focusing that close. I don't know. But I'll just show you how nice and quick and easy this is. Okay, I'm not going to do one with the bite right now. But one thing that I do like to do on fussy cutting is usually not to have any sharp corners. Keep it a little rounded. Like over here, I didn't want it too sharp. I actually rounded it, if you saw that. Because most things don't have such a sharp edge to them. Okay, and I'm just going to snip that just a little bit. So now I have 3 pieces of watermelon. I'll save this one for later. I usually have a little cello bag in here that I keep my pieces in. And then it's going to go on. I took a piece of white card base, and I took some Melon Mambo. This, by the way, is Melon Mambo and the Granny Apple Green. I stamped the little seeds. This is where I mentioned in my description for the live today. I kind of added it later. Something that can be a background. So this wasn't a full background stamp, but I just used a small image to create a background just along the edges here. Covered it with a piece of 3-inch wide by 5 1/4 tall of this plaid here. And I love it because it looks like fabric. Okay, you see these little bits and smudges on there? That wasn't for me. That's not dirty. That's just the texture showing up in the paper itself, right? So I thought that looks very country-like. So then we're going to make just a little collection of the watermelon pieces down here. And then we're going to put a sentiment up on top. So there is no sentiment on this one because, well, not because, I don't know why, but you can use, obviously, sentiments from other things. And I thought because watermelon is a fruit and it's sweet, whatever, I went to my share a milkshake, and I'm going to use Life is Sweeter with You. Okay, and it's kind of like people are sharing a slice of watermelon, right? So I stamped that again in Melon Mambo, and I'm going to punch that out with the heartfelt hexagon. Okay, there are some new things in the catalog that coordinate with a heartfelt hexagon. I'm going to show you that next. So I thought that fit nicely in here. Now there are a few things that you can do. Obviously, if I just stamp this punch it like this, it's going to have a lot of white space. So there are a few things you can do. If you wanted, you can stamp the leaf lightly in the background, stamp off first and then just have it like a little, like the letters are overlaying the image. Or, and I've shown you this before, you can actually make this a little more, not as tall. I'm going to say narrow from top to bottom. I'm going to move this up just a little bit so it lines up with this corner up here. And then I want to take away some of this down here. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to punch it first. All right, now if I wanted, I could put a little image, or I could even, if I had another die cut thing, I could, always just overlay it, something like that. But just to remind you how to do this other technique, I'm going to remind you how to do this. So we're going to take a Post-it note, and I did have here it is. I was so organized, I forgot where I put it. All right, these are big, so I'm just going to cut a little piece off. And just stick that to your Post-it note so it creates a handle. A lot of you have seen this before, but if you haven't, or just as a reminder, now I'm going to put it in my slot here, and now I'm going to arrange it so I can cut that bottom piece off. So now it's going to be not quite as big. It's going to be just a little smaller. I'm going to try to center that. And then if I punch it, okay, that extra piece comes out. And then I have just a smaller label that will work nicely on my card there. Okay, so because I cut that off, that probably won't work. I'll just toss that away. All right, so then we're going to put these on here, some with dimensionals to change up the height on some things. I'm going to start a brand new glue as well, so you don't have to see me shaking the old one all the time. I think I got as much as I can out of that one that's on my desk. All right, I'll just throw that one away. Right, I'm going to glue down the big watermelon. Now, people who don't like the liquid glue, remember thin beads and not too close to the edge. You want to have it fairly close, but just imagine when it's down on paper, it's going to spread. So just leave that little bit. Thin beads is the key. Okay, don't glob it on. And we'll put this down a little bit on an angle, and then we can arrange our slices in a variety of ways. I don't know if I want them. Oh, we could have overlapping like that. That could be okay. All right, maybe I'll glue this one down and pop that one up. But this is just a suggestion. Think out of the box how you can use your designer paper in other ways other than what it coordinates with in the actual package itself. All right, so I'll pop that one up with dimensionals. I'll take two, one for each side. Okay, how about like that? That looks good. All right, then of course this will get popped up, but we're going to add a little bit of some kind of ribbon or twine. And that I thought maybe I would work out with you today. So one option was, this is sort of rustic, but I'm not sure I really like that with this one right now. Then, of course, I went to one of my favorites, the black and white gingham. Just my thumb got stuck in that hole there. It's really funny. I thank you for the tips. Okay, I have not been looking at the comments. I'm sorry. Look at all the people we have on today. That's awesome. Hi, Kay and Karen, Laverne, another team member, Laverne. Glad you got on, son. All right, so we have the plaid there, and this is sort of plaid-like. And so I thought maybe we can tie that in. These seeds are early espresso, so there really is no other black on here. So that's the one thing that I was a little skeptical of. But I do have early espresso ribbon. Nope, used to have the early espresso ribbon. Okay. Well, so of course there are some things that we can do. If you don't have the color ribbon that matches your project, if you have Stampin' Blends in that color, then you can use that. Excuse me one second. So let's go to Melon Mambo. I'm going to try a couple of things. So I'm going to try coloring this a little bit with the Melon Mambo to tie that in. And then if that doesn't work, then we're going to take this little pink or maybe I could use the green because that is Granny Apple Green, and we're going to color that. I'm going to get a dirty piece of paper here so I can keep my mat here clean for you. All right, so just taking I'll start with a light. You can always add more. Taking your ribbon and the brush tip, and just the side of the brush tip, you can just go across and add the color on there. And it soaks right in. It even goes through to the other side, usually. If you think you need to add more, you can do that. Now let's see. I like kind of working things out with you so you can kind of see the process. So we all struggle with certain things and say, well, what idea should we do? Okay, so we could add a little something there. If I don't use it for this project, I'll use it for something else. I don't mind coloring it up a little bit. So you don't know until you actually try it sometimes. Right? Kind of like recipes. You can see a recipe and you say, oh, that sounds good, but you're not real sure until you eat it. Give it that try. All right, we could do a bow or just a little knot. I didn't leave myself too much room for tying here, but let's see what I can do. You should let this dry a little bit too, because the fabric will take a little longer to dry than the paper. Ooh, I think I got it. Oh, there we go. Ooh, look at that. I did. Look how sweet that looks. It does look sweet, right? Put it on the side. I don't know. First, let's even off the ends. Put it right at the top like that. Okay, so that's an idea there. I make good bows. Thanks, Nadine. I'm saying one thing is knowing how to tie them, and I've given that lesson a couple of times there. So that's kind of cute, but let's just see. See, when I went over it with the pink, I think it softened how dark the black was a little bit. So anyway, one other thing that we can try is there's some Granny Apple Green. I'm not sure I want to do that. I want that to stay on the melon, I think. But we could always color that, and we could always color this one. Let's just do a quick try here. And maybe we can just do a loop. Maybe a bow is too much. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. All right, that's pretty good. See, it went right through. It might be a little wet for a little while. Let's try the skinny one also, just to see what happens. This one has a little shimmer to it, which is cool. Okay. Oh, that was a dark color. Oh, well, that's all right. I can still work. I got it on my hands. All righty. Okay, Sandy, hello. Okay, so maybe we can just do a loop and put that under. For some reason, going over there is not really matching that color well for me. Anyway, and then going over the green. Nope, don't like that. All right, we're going to go with the bow. We'll just stick with the bow. I'll use this for something else later. So we're going to pop this up, dimensionals. Remember, you could get the watercolor melon, because it has that watercolor look to it. Watercolor melon for free with the celebrations. And actually, I'm going to use a couple minis over here. Don't need big ones. 4 big ones on there. Okay, sometimes I need my pick tool to take some of those little guys off. There and there. There you go. My friend Nadine says she uses the minis more than the big ones nowadays. It is kind of helpful. All right, here we go. Oh, you have that set, Debbie? Good. Yeah, it's fun. I got it because it was different. You know, I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. Actually, oh, Nadine. I was saying, yeah, I kind of, for some reason, I gravitate to some of the fruit. I don't know why. I'm having trouble getting this one off. You can always use your pick tool to pull that off. Well, maybe that's just the bum a mini dimensional. Let's take a fresh one. Here we go. Now I've gotten the citrus, the new catalog. I got the blueberries. I've had strawberry things before. Okay, so Life is Sweet with You. I'm going to attach that with a glue dot up there. I'm going to try to be good and put my things back out of the way. Just press your element to the dot itself. Put it on top. Okay, so Life is Sweeter with You. There you go. So just my lesson to you today is not only the card layout, but how to cut down the label and to mix and match things that you don't always think that will go together. Like I would not have thought, oh, let me look at the lavender paper to pair with a watermelon. All right, so just things to do. So we're going to do the same layout. You have your card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, that's our standard card base, A2 size they call it. And then you have a layer of colored cardstock. Again, a standard layer, 5 1/4 by 4. So it's just a 1/4 inch different from your base. And then your DSP is 3 by 5 1/4. So it goes all the way up. We're going to stamp some little small design on the side, add some kind of focal image and a sentiment. So this is going to be the sketch or the layout for all the cards today. So let me move along and show you this layout with different products. All right, I'll put these away. Okay, so speaking of the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch, how's that for a nice segue? I want to show you, this is carrying over to the new catalog, which is nice. But I want to show you how it works with this stamp set, okay, and celebration set as well. Okay, Heartfelt Hellos and Heartfelt Hexagon. So these are some nice sentiments. We have one for Dad, one for Mom, Easter, enjoy your day, love, and hello. And they fit in this Heartfelt Hexagon punch. So if you are not sure, one thing that you can do if you're looking for something to fit into your punches, you can punch out your, take a plain piece of cardstock. Now, I would not have gone so close to the edge here, but you can just have a card with your punches, plain white, and then this way you can go to your stamp sets and see what's going to fit. Now, one thing you have to watch for is sometimes the image on the front cover is not always full size. Sometimes I had to minimize it to be able to fit them all on the front cover. So make sure you look down in the bottom here, because sometimes it says images shown at 90% or 80% or whatever. I don't know if I see one here. I don't have one out at the moment, but it will say down here in the bottom right corner. So one thing I like to do is keep some of these cards handy. And this way you can, if it's not full size, then open it up and just see, use it like a little window and see what will fit. Now you can even put them all on a ring. That's one thing I'm going to do next. Take all my punches and make a ring of these cards. Kind of like what I did with my cardstock. I put them all on a ring and I have the colors and the item numbers down here. This way it's kind of like a color coach too. I can see, well, what matches, what mixes and matches with that. And I can combine different colors. So it's nice to have this for your punches as well. Have a label on there, the name of the punch and the item number, at least for me, if I want to recommend it to somebody. All right, so the hexagon punch pairs with these. You have some cute little images here, which are fun. I've used this one and this one on my next card. So I'm going to kind of show you the process of what I was thinking of for this one, because I had these ideas and I kept trying it out. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. you know me and trying to make decisions. It doesn't always come easy, but just do it, work with it, and then it helps you decide better. So this is what I wanted to, I like some of these little images that I thought might work for those side pieces of the card layout. And I also wanted to use, let me get this paper out here. I wanted to use Poetic Expressions, which is this pretty paper here. It has Melon Mambo, Boho Blue, some Lagoon, Bubble Bath, and Wild Wheat. I know some people are not so wild about, but that's okay. Well, you know, it's in, like my friend says, in small doses, it's fine. So anyway, this is another one that you will get in the paper share. And these are all the different patterns. So I wanted to use something more with pinks and the wild wheat. So I chose this paper to work with and this paper. So I was thinking, all right, let me take a little bit of each. I know that might be hard to see those there, but and I said, oh, let me start playing with them. And then I wanted to find stamps where that would kind of pair with the style of this. That's one thing you have to do when you're thinking of mixing and matching things. Keeps the same style. I would not put that cute little cartoony bumblebee on this paper here, right? It's just a different style altogether. So just always think about that. I have seen some people mix some of those kind of things, and it's not always the best. You want to keep similar kind of a theme going there. All right, so I worked on this one, taking wild wheat, and I love this little flower from the Heartfelt Hexagon. I stamped that along the side. I thought that looked really, really pretty. I loved that. And then I was taking the pieces of designer paper that I wanted to use, and then I said, okay, well, let's see here. Well, that's not too bad, but I thought it might be a little busy. Maybe not too much for the style. It is sort of collagey, you know, shabby chic-ish in a way. I don't know. So, but I'm thinking, I don't know. It was a lot. And I said, well, let me do this. Then I thought, well, the side pattern overwhelmed the little pattern here because this was way more delicate. So I said, well, okay, so now let me try using the stamp set that actually coordinates with that paper, which is Thoughtful Expressions. I see the process here. It goes from one thing to another. It can get crazy sometimes. Thoughtful Expressions has these beautiful, as the hummingbird and the flowers. So I said, all right, well, this is a more delicate flower. So I was going to try that. So on the back, I tried one full strength and one stamped off. Well, I kind of like that stamped off. It's more soft and subtle. So I put that on there and I said, okay, well, that can work. You know, that's kind of okay. The dark one overwhelmed this, but the scale was different. I really would have wanted the background to be smaller and the foreground being a little bigger. So, I mean, maybe I overthink these things, but this is just what's going through my mind. So I'm just kind of telling you there. Oh, thanks, Lynn. I'm glad you like all the tips. All right. So working through the process, I said, all right, we're going to go with the Thoughtful Expressions. And this paper, somehow, I'm going to make it work. It comes with dies. Now, if the stamp set doesn't speak to you real well, these dies might. And look at all these frames that you get here. You get 4 of these rectangular shaped labels, and you get 6 of these circles, these scallop circles here, plus little flowers, leaf sprigs, another leaf sprig, a couple leaves, and this individual flower that looks like this. Okay, that stamps up like that. And so there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 things that coordinate with the 4 images here. So even if you really don't want the stamp set, you might consider the dies just for all of the other things there and just not worry about those others. But it is a nice combination. And I believe if you get this, is probably 50 or more, it would qualify you for a level 1 celebration gift. All right, so I said, all right, we're going with this. I wanted to use the hummingbird. Okay, so I actually stamped that in wild wheat because I didn't want a really dark black image. And this way I colored it in with some blends. I used wild wheat, some old olive, and bubble bath to add a little bit of color to my hummingbird. And then I said, well, okay, we're going to work with that. So that looks nice somehow on there. And then I said, well, that looks nicer on this paper. On here gets a little bit lost, right? Because the background is so busy. So these are things that maybe you think about when you're putting your cards together. So then here I am. Okay, which DSP to use, which background to use, how to get the hummingbird to pop up. So in looking at these dies, I was saying, all right, well, if I'm going to use a busy DSP, I need the hummingbird to be, it would show up much more on a piece of white or a solid color. So I decided to take 2 of these concentric scallop circles and put the hummingbird on there so it shows up nicely. Layer it with the next size scallop circle, and being sure to align the how the scallops meet each other, because some are little nubby things, some are bigger curves. And then we can put the hummingbird on there so it shows up with the white and the wheat behind it. And then I thought that looked really nice on this paper. All right. So then what I decided to do was I did like that stamped off flower there. So this is how I did that. Okay, if you're not familiar with stamping off, you, let me get the ink. Oh, sorry. Okay. To get a lighter image, stamp off on your paper first, and then stamp off on scrap paper and then stamp on there, and you get a lighter image, and that was way more delicate. So this way, now it's meeting my criteria of where I wanted something more delicate for the background, something a little more bold in the foreground. So I'm going to flip this over because here I have a full one done. Magic of TV. So it's more delicate over here. I think I like it better this way with the stems going up. And now the hummingbird shows up better on there. And it has such a nice, I'm going to call it like a romantic look, just a kind of like an old-fashioned sort of Victorian look, perhaps. This looks stenciled, kind of like a pretty wallpaper, something like that. All right, and then we'll put that on a solid white piece of cardstock. And of course, pop some of this up with dimensionals. And then, of course, I had to use one of these labels over here. So, of course, the small one is what would fit. And I stamped You're in My Thoughts from that set, Thoughtful Expressions. Stamp that in wild wheat. And then that's going to go down there. All right, so that's our card. Let me quickly throw that together. Luckily, once you have all the elements, it's easy to put it all together. It's thinking about it all what takes up the time, right? So once you have part of it, like you have the layout, then you don't even have to think about that. You can just say, all right, this is what I need. You have your colored cardstock layer. Again, this is 3 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. So it's just giving us those edges there. And I like to line this up at the top, as you know, using my grid paper there, making sure I'm straight on both ends. Okay, close enough. I'm going to glue this down and then pop the other up. I'm going to make sure that this is straight. I saw somebody doing a demonstration once. I don't even remember who it was, and I wouldn't tell you if I knew. But she put this down, but it was a little askew. For me, I get a little OCD. I like it to be even. There's a top and a bottom and left or right, but it was like a little off, so it didn't seem to look straight to me for whatever reason. Now I could pop up the white layer and then just leave the hummingbird on there, or I could keep the white layer down and pop up the hummingbird. I'm a little afraid that the hummingbird might get caught or pull off a little bit if it's raised too much. So I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to pop this one up. It's not going to matter a whole lot. Like I say, we angst over some of the decisions we make with our card, as you just saw me do. And somebody's not going to open your card and say, well, she really should have done it the other way. Like I say, they're just going to be happy that you thought of somebody to give them a lovely card that you made. All right, so again, I want to line up the scallops to the one that's underneath, right there. Okay. All right, thanks, Patty. All right, I'm going to glue that down. See, because the white part is raised, it gives the illusion that the bird is also flying. Okay, so I'm going to make him go like that. I'm going to be cognizant not to put too much glue, not to put any glue on the very edges. So I'm going to keep it more to the middle. Okay, so I guess it's kind of the teacher in me, not just showing you by rote how to do something, but understand how to do something and why. Okay, that's kind of what we do as teachers. All right, then of course this is going to get popped up, and then we can think about some embellishment. Now that's that's a whole nother thing, right? Okay, let's see. We could put, I didn't want to put ribbon on this because this was busy enough. So I thought maybe just a couple of gems. Okay, so we have the same elements here, right? We have the label, we have the background, we have the DSP, and we have our focal image. Just put them in a different place, right? But basically, you're starting with a similar sketch of the same elements. So, but look how very different those are, right? So, so we can put a couple of gems on there. One thing, I'm just kind of thinking out of the box. Oh, here was one of my other thoughts. Bubble bath with this little border on the side too, but I didn't like that with there. It just looked too wimpy to me. I liked the richer color of this. And okay, yeah, so Nadine, I was going to ask, what do you think of the wild weed on there? Now I see your comment. Don't even mind the use of it. See, it can work sometimes, right? Because like she said, it's not predominant. If it's used in small doses, it's good. Now, this is from the bee set, but I didn't know, again, I kind of had to open up and try it. I didn't know if using one of these little hearts would work on there. I think it might. Here are my thoughts today. Just a little heart there. So here we go. We're mixing, again, different things that you normally wouldn't think would go together. So here are my thoughts today. We got a little heart there. I think that's just added a nice little sweetness and just that little touch of shine. Right? You could have used maybe something metallic or pearls or rhinestone looking on here. That would have been just fine too. But just kind of, like I said, thinking out of the box. Look to other things. You don't have to be caught right in. Also, maybe butterflies could have worked on here or on this one too. So, you know, see what happens there. All right, ready for one more? Actually, I have two more real quick if you're ready to stick around. How are we doing on time? All right, 10 to 11, not bad. Okay, let me clean off my stamp and put it away. So, yeah, thoughtful expressions, the dies, and the Poetic Expressions DSP. Okay, so those are two with that layout. I'm going to zip through two more. It won't take quite as much time, but I just kind of want you to know different ways you can try to think of things. And you know what? I still will do something with this because something about this I just love. I just think it's so pretty. I took that one stamp and it looked like sort of like a chain of flowers up there, like a vine. Pretty. I will do something. I was thinking about it when I woke up this morning. It's like, oh, it's on my brain. I'm half asleep and I'm thinking about, okay, what can I do with that card? Who else does that? Yeah, monochromatic, right? Just, yeah, pretty much monochromatic. Just touches of the pink. So I like that. Whether it's black and white and a touch of color, or some other color with a touch of a different color. So that all works. Okay, let's see what else I've got up my sleeve here. All right, now who doesn't love? I gotta pull this one out. People have been waiting to get this too. Fresh and airy, the bird. This is a celebrations item. You can get this for free. And there is so many pretty papers on this. It is just, first of all, I love these colors. I love blues. So it's got boho blue and misty moonlight in there. You've got some yellows and pinks and greens. And of course, you've got some Lost Lagoon, another one of my favorites. But every paper has some birds on it. Different sizes, some mixed in with the flowering trees. And the back are either plain or some floral prints too. So just absolutely beautiful. Oh, I know I'm going to be using this one a lot. And little pastel look, little watercolor look to them. Okay, here's some nice blue background here. All right, so I'm going to use two of these on my next card. And instead of a background stamp to show through on those edges, I'm going to emboss my cardstock. So that could be another option to get some kind of feature on that. So I'll put it to the side. For this one, I'm going to use, again, it's a celebration item, Softly Sophisticated, that I showed you. Well, I didn't show you. Nope, didn't show you that one. Okay, this is combined. It's a $100 level celebration item. So in fact, I had a customer just order that one today. So you get both of them when you spend $100. Okay, they come together as a set. Okay, so it's a level 2, they call that. And so it has these beautiful little flowers and a few sentiments. You get both. It's a 2-step stamping process. So these flowers settle right in here with these leaves, and these will fit on the stems here. So it's kind of nice to have that, or you can just use these as a little background itself. The Softly Sophisticated embossing folder is just so pretty. It has this little stitching pattern on it. Okay, this is in Pool Party. I just keep that in my case here on my envelope here for sample so I could see it. And so I did that. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm going to put this together. I said, oh, just love it. Boho blue. Okay, there it is in boho blue. Look how pretty that is. So delicate. I love the delicate embossed backgrounds. And so that's going to be our layer on our white cardstock. I'm going to actually do this one right as we go. Possibilities are endless. You are right, Debbie. And Patty. Yep, Patty said that. So I'm going to just start with the layout or the sketch, so to speak, and then just switch things up. All right, I took this pattern here. Look how pretty. So delicate and so gorgeous. I made sure to cut a section where I saw the birds prominently, and they were in a place that I wanted them to be. All right, so we're going to glue that one down. Now, when you're gluing something onto something that's raised, something embossed, make sure you use plenty of adhesive, because your glue is mostly going to catch the raised part of what's embossed, right? So you want it to have plenty on there that it will stick. Okay, yes, Debbie, mine too. It's a go-to for sure. But look how nice and delicate that is. Okay. There we go. Let me make sure that's down. Like I said, it's mostly sticking to the raised parts, which is only those little dots there. Isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love the birds too, the little blue birds. Now, this was interesting. Something I noticed last night. Let me go backwards a step. All right, so now for my label, I used a different punch. I'm using the decorative circle punch. Again, I love the punches. That way I don't have to get out all my die cutting stuff. But it is nice. The die cutting stuff is nice because you can have a lot of concentric sizes in a small space. You don't have to have all the punches. All right, so now I wanted to put my circle up here because I didn't want to hide those birds. And, it's okay if I hid this little bird that got cut off there. So put that there. And so I'm going to put my image and my sentiment on the same piece. I'm not going to have separate ones this time. All right, so I was looking, I said, all right, this paper is so pretty that I'm going to look for a bird that I can fussy cut and put on there. So I was saying, all right, these are good sized birds on these sheets. And then, of course, I wanted just one bird. These two birds are looking off to my right. So I wanted one that's going to look to the left, because over here, looking off to the right just didn't balance well for me. So I'm going to find one that's looking to the left. Now, on this entire sheet, unless there are two birds, all the single birds are looking to the right, except one. This one. It's amazing. On that entire 12 by 12, only one is looking to the left. This one is looking to the left, but that's the same as that one. But it's kind of cut off down there, but it's the same bird. All right. So now remember that hint I gave you for using what you cut out, your negative space, to kind of frame what you want to do here. I want that bird on here, but I want to save room for my sentiment as well. So I'm going to use the hello there because I thought that's kind of cute. I might say that to a bird in my backyard. Oh, hello, little blue bird. Hello there. And I'm going to take that stamp. I'm going to kind of line it up. I'm going to try to get an idea of, I'm not going to fussy cut the whole image, but I'm going to cut some of the bird, and I want to catch some of the flowers and or leaves. So I'm going to use this as my frame to kind of get an idea of how I want to frame it on my punch. And here's my sentiment here. So I can play around with where I want it to be. And I think I want my bird to be more in the top right quadrant, and then my sentiment either directly on the bottom or to the side. So I'm going to cut, I'll just kind of cut this whole bird out and then cut it down to exactly where I want it to be. But this is going to give me sort of an idea. So I thought maybe I could cut this leaf here, cut around the bird, and maybe catch a couple of these flowers over here. And then that will be down there. So I'm thinking actually maybe just around the bird and get this flower and this bud and this leaf. So just to add a little of that pink in there to catch, to add a little something else in my label. So I want to show you how to find that on there. So I'm just going to cut whole image out there. And don't throw away or dismiss the usefulness of these things that are cut off here, because you can always fussy cut around them and use them on the edge of a card, right? And have it just sort of come in as a border on the edge of something or a strip or whatever. So don't throw those away just because there's not many of them. This half a bird, I would not bother keeping, but those flowers I would, right? Or maybe this one here, you have most of the bird peeking in from the side. I would, put that on the side of a card or a border and it could work. So be frugal with it all. Okay. It's beautiful stuff. You don't want to waste any of it. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to cut. So I already mentioned I'm going to cut around that leaf there. And don't have to be too perfect here. I am leaving some border. And especially because the background of this is white and it's going on white, you can get away with not being quite as perfect or cutting as fussy. If it were going on a different background color, like the blue, you don't want much of that border showing because it might look a little silly. It would look less professional, so to speak. All right, you get the little beak here. Okay, even though that's kind of pointed, I'll go back and neaten up those edges so it doesn't look so square. All right, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to grab that flower and maybe the bud over there. Okay, for now, I'm going to cut this way first. I'm not going to cut off too much because I think that might still work to have the buds and the leaf down there. I can always cut it off later, but I can't add it back on. Ooh, that pink is so light and watercolory, it's hard to even see it. This way. Now, this paper doesn't coordinate with anything particular. So just cut away, use it. All right, this is bothering me. I do have to go in here just a little bit. I know it's a little hard, but just a little. Now, fussy cutting is one of those things where some people don't mind it, some people really don't like it. I'm fine with it, as long as I don't have to do a million at once. Okay, look how pretty that is. And you know me, I'm going to save that because I'll use it on something else, I'm sure. All right, let's stamp our sentiment on there. And I'm going to do that in Misty Moonlight to keep with the blues, but have a little darker blue than my background over here. See, doesn't that look better with him looking that way? Right? I don't want it looking the other way. So before I glue him on, I am going to stamp my sentiment, because if I mess up my sentiment and he's already glued on there, there's not much I can do except maybe cover up the sentiment with something else. We're doing a little hello there. Okay, I'm going to put that down below. Maybe a little to the left. I'm going to measure here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty far, pretty low here. Then I'll have room for some embellishment up there too, I think. There. Very pretty. I'll bring that closer to you in a second. Right, so pretty. So pretty. Now to decide to, again, this is kind of delicate, so I'm going to glue the bird down, but I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. If you were to use the dimensionals on here, of course, the minis would work best. If you do get a glob of glue bigger than you want it, just use the tip to spread it around. That's not going to ooze out behind your project. And also, get that beak, I'm just going to spread it. I'm not going to try to put a glob of glue there. Okay, here we go. Add some dimensionals. And yeah, I love the font too. I do. I do. Nice, pretty script, but yet simple, right? Okay. Okay, I'm going to make sure my points to my scallop are in the right direction. I have a little smudge of glue there, so I'll use my adhesive eraser. You can get them at most craft stores or even Amazon. I got a whole dozen from Amazon. Okay, there we go. All right, now my friend, oh, that's a little crooked. Can't have that. And before it sticks too long, I'm gonna use my tool and get under there. Oh no. The longer it sticks on there, the harder it would be to get off. Okay, using my little paddle, pry it up. Okay, whew. Here we go. Okay, much better. Oh my, glad I noticed that. Okay, now I put rhinestones on here to make it shine. Right, Lois? You need the rhinestone basic jewels. Remember, if you wanted to color them, you could take your Stampin' Blends and add color to them too. If I wanted to make them the blue, that could work as well. It would look really pretty. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, though. And so let's see. One has to go there for sure. My bigger one. So 1, 2, maybe one over here. Do it in odd numbers. Triangle shape. Just bring a little bling down there. Okay, I think that's it. So again, that same layout. You know, your typical base, your typical layer, then just cut a 3-inch wide strip for there. Here's the 3. 1, 2, 3. All different, same concept. All right, if you stick around, I have one more quick one for you. And that's going to be what I started out with on my desk first. Okay, so another Sale-a-bration item is the Sunny Days Designer Series paper. And that pairs with Bright Skies stamp set and dies. Okay, and the dies here, these clouds, actually cut out some of the clouds on the Designer Series paper as well. So here's one that I cut out that I want to use with the dies, and there was another one someplace. Probably flew away. Oh, maybe it's in my bin here. Yep, it's in the bin still. Okay, so I just cut out some of the clouds from the paper, and I'm using this as my 3-inch wide. I'm using Pool Party as my base. It's going to go like that. And we're going to put some of the clouds, 2 of the clouds on there. We're going to use the stamp set. I'm going to have You Brighten My Cloudy Days. Okay, I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to use some of the raindrops for my edging design over here. And I'm going to even try taking this little sun, die cutting it out, and maybe peeking it behind one of the clouds. It's going to bring in just a little bit of that crushed curry. We're going to see what that looks like. So I'm going to kind of whip through this one real fast because you know the layout already. Here's some of the paper. Okay, we have some rainbows in the lagoon and the pool party and shaded spruce. Not lagoons, pool party, shaded spruce. All right, then we have some random clouds. We have funky clouds. Here's the poppy, some plaid, some strawberries, bright and cheery. I love this paper. Butterflies. My friend Tina, I think of the butterflies all the time. And look at this. I love this one with the pool party background and the poppy and the petal pink. Look how fun that is. And then you got some sunshine there and some cherries and a nice little background here. So yeah, if I wanted to, I could just use this on the background of that, couldn't I? I could do that. And then I wouldn't have to stamp. All right, you know what? I'm going to do that. Just a cut a little piece right now, and that's going to be done. All right, so this is free with celebrations as well. Okay, so let's cut 5 1/4 by 4. See, it's all done for you here. Save a little bit of time. All right, and I'll put that down first. Those cherries are cute. You hate to, two-sided paper is great. You get a lot of options, but then sometimes you hate to cover up one, right? All right, we'll put that down. We'll put this over. So one thing you can do is take some of your paper, just cut a bunch of these 3-inch wides, take out some coordinating cardstock, white bases, and just start putting things together. I mean, even just that looks nice. If you just put a sentiment on there, or maybe if you tied a ribbon around there, that could look really nice, right? Hey, look, love that, already done. Right, I'm going to run these through my die cut machine. I'll take out the coordinating dies. So there's this one, and then the next one up. And I can run them both at the same time, I think. I have my little machine on my desk today. Let's see how that goes. On the big machine, I could definitely run them both. Well, this one's too big. I'll have to run one at a time. Okay, so putting that there, I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape to hold it in place so it doesn't slip as I run it through. Okay. There we go. There's one cloud. We'll do the next one. Reuse my washi. Oops, I picked the wrong one. It doesn't match up. Oh no, it's the other side. I thought it matched up. Wrong side. All right, here we go. Run that through. Okay, my grid paper is not glued down. That's why I'm slipping a little bit with my machine. Okay, very carefully pull it off your image. You don't want to tear it. All right, and then I didn't even use these yet. This is the first time. I usually put them on my magnetic sheets. A lot easier. See, they don't fly away like that. Okay, let's get that sun. See what that looks like when I stamp that. And that's going to be the only yellow thing on there. I'm using crushed curry because that coordinates with the other paper. I could have used that to build the light, but the crushed curry is kind of a warm yellow. So I don't want it to look too, I don't know, too much of contrast. These are more warm colors, I thought. So let's see how it goes. All right. Okay, it's a new step, so sometimes you get kind of a not a smooth real image, so I like to stamp it a couple times and clean it off, and see, now we got a little bit better image there. All right, we'll die cut that. I'm just going to cut this to make it fit through my machine better. I have a mini. Okay, line up little points. And I need a new piece of washi. Stampin' Up! Used to sell washi tape when it was really, really popular, so I've got tons of it for this purpose. Tons. See if we can get that straight there. Oh, there we go. That's it. Well, we'll certainly hope. It seems like some of them line up, but then some of the others on the other side don't, unless they're not all the same. That would be tricky. Some of them do look different. Oh my gosh, how are we supposed to figure that out? Oh. Well, we'll just hope for the best. How about that? Wow, keep turning it until you find the right way. Well, you know what? When I do find the right way, I'm going to mark it on my stamp and my die so that it's all good. Ooh, that could be it. All right, let's see if we can do this. Almost done here, guys. Thanks for hanging in. If you couldn't wait, then you can catch the replay. Watch it later. Wash it in pieces. Oh, thank you. My shirt. You notice my shirt with a daisy on it? My husband got me this one for Christmas as well, with this my daughter's suggestion. Yeah, they chose it because it has the daisy on there, and the daisy's on the sleeve. Did you know that? Just one sleeve. I'm a little lopsided. That's okay. It's fun. All right, that kind of works there. All right, I'm going to mark my die. I'm going to put a little black Sharpie mark on there, and I'm going to make a coordinating Sharpie mark on my stamp so that I know how to line them both up. Okay. Now, let's arrange this. We'll put the little sun behind there and poke it out. And then we'll just put our sentiment down below. All right, I'm going to stamp that in black because there is some black in there. And you brighten my cloudy days. The sun's coming out. Okay. And then we'll have to decide which punch to use here. I won't glue this all together. I'll just post it on my next post, and you can see it all done. But this might not stamp very well right away either because it's new. You can see how it's, I'm going to see it this way. See how it's kind of beating up. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stamp off on scrap paper. Stamp it off. That's from the processing. Sometimes they're like little oils and whatever that are on there from processing. Clean it off. And let's see how that looks. That's better. All right, let's see how it comes out. I might have to clean it a little bit more. Although maybe once it gets on the paper, it looks a little bit better. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad there. So I didn't leave much room for punching though, did I? No. Let's look at my heartfelt hexagon. I don't think I stamped it right, but I'll do this again. Didn't leave enough room. Wasn't thinking. Okay. And that fits very nicely in there. I think that's gonna look really cute on there. All right, so I'm not going to keep you much longer. In fact, my daughter and granddaughter just came and we're babysitting while my daughter gets her hair done. So I will put this all together and I will add ribbon or embellishments, whatever, but you get the idea, right? Okay, so cute, right? All right, so here we go. Here they all are again. Same design, totally different look for each of them, right? So hope you have fun with this design, this layout. I thank you so much for coming. I think I need another sip of coffee. Kind of forgot it. I don't mind drinking cold coffee. Cold, warm, lukewarm tea I can drink, but I can make do with the coffee. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm going to post these and the things that I used in my next post. And then if you try this layout, please tag on. You can add your pictures and what you do in the comments. And I really appreciate you joining in. And thank you also for your support. Remember, if you order and your order is less than 150, use this host code here. All right. And I'll type that in my next post as well. Remember my paper share, you can go to my blog, stampwithlorraine.com, and you can order my blog, order my paper share from the blog. Okay, so that's been very popular. I have a bunch going out. I even rush ordered some people who ordered early. I rushed my order. It's coming today or tomorrow, and I'll cut those up and get them all out to everybody. Okay. Meanwhile, you can shop at lorrainesish.stampinup.net is my store. All right. Have a great week, everybody. And you guys definitely brighten my cloudy days too. It's always fun to get together. All right. See you guys. Stay tuned. And we'll talk to you soon. Try out these cards. All right. Bye now. Take care.